Hello and welcome back to the Folio Society Reviews. Here we have the Bhagavad Gita, a Hindu scripture written in Sanskrit around the 2nd or 5th century BC, and it is part of the Hindu epic Mahabharata. And this book is translated by the Spanish translator Juan Mascaró, and the Bhagavad Gita is a very powerful religious and spiritual text that I really enjoyed reading, which is also illustrated by Anna Bhushan in absolutely marvelous illustrations. You can see on the front cover just a sneak peek on what you will get inside. Bhagavad Gita is an independent text that you can read on its own. You don't have to read any other part of the Mahabharata to understand this book, and it really gives you a good understanding of Hindu philosophy and the Hindu religion. But we're gonna of course cover the book now. Here is the front cover. It's quarter bound in cloth and it has Modigliani paper sides on both the front and back cover. You can see that the middle here of the Modigliani paper is coated in gold, and it shines very nicely when you place it in the sun. And here in the middle we can see Krishna and Arjuna, which are the two main figures in this book. And the cloth here is duotone, so you get a dark blue cloth and a turquoise cloth in the background, so it gives a very nice duotone effect. But here is the spine with only the Bhagavad Gita and FS here for Folio Society. And on the back cover we can see Arjuna standing here with this bow and with the god Krishna as his charioteer. But now let's head inside this wonderful book. And we can see these very nicely illustrated dark blue end papers, very thick paper, and it has these gold dots surrounding it. And here we get the title page with the frontispiece, and here we can see that it is translated by Juan Mascaró, and I will comment a bit about the translation later on in this video and say what I think about it, because I have a few things to say about this translation. It's introduced by Amit Chowdhury and illustrated by Anna Bhushan. And this edition of the Bhagavad Gita was published by the Folio Society first in 2011. And here we have the copyright page. And the text follows the first edition of the Penguin Classics edition that was published in 1962, which is also the most popular edition of the Bhagavad Gita that is translated into English. I think around 700,000 copies has been sold of this translation, which is a large number of copies for being a religious, spiritual Hindu text. And this is a second printing in 2012. And here we can see that it is set in perpetua. It's printed on Abiwo rough paper, so not Abiwo paper this time. And it's printed and bound in Germany and blocked with a design by the artist Anna Bhushan. And then the introduction begins. And this introduction is 15 pages long. And then the Bhagavad Gita begins. The Bhagavad Gita contains 700 verses, so it's not a very long book. And you can see here the layout of the text. The text really fills the pages well. It's quite a large text size they've used, so it looks very nice on this Abiwo paper, which is a very thick Abiwo rough paper, I should say, which is very thick paper. It is of course way more rough than a standard Abiwo paper, but it's also not as cream colored, since you get some illustrations that are integrated with the text. But the Bhagavad Gita from the Folio Society is one of those books I just want to go through and show all of it, because there's quite a few illustrations in this book and you just can see how wonderful they are. But I will now show all of these illustrations in a close-up so you can get a good feeling for the illustrations in this book. So I hope you will enjoy them. And welcome back. As you can tell, there are no notes to this edition, and the book is 97 pages long. The end papers at the back are the exact same. And here we can see the nice Smithsonian binding with the blue headband and the rounded spine. And how good does the book open up? After having read the book, I would say that it opens up fairly well. You won't see too much of it closing itself. And here is the magnificent two-spread illustrations. I've spent a lot of time looking through this when I read this book. It's really impressive. And the book also, of course, comes with a standard for the society slipcase. This one is in a dark blue color, matching the cloth. And that was the presentation of the Bhagavad Gita, translated by Juan Mascaró, and I said that I would talk a bit about the translation and what I think about it. I don't think this is the translation you want to read if you want to get the most out of this Sanskrit text, because Juan Mascaró was very influenced by King James Bible. So the text in this Hindu scripture reads a lot like the Old and New Testament in King James Bible. So it just feels a bit wrong, and I'm sure there are better, more literal translations out there that also manage to capture the beauty of this text, but are more true to the original Sanskrit writing. But that's just my thought. It's still a very popular translation, and you will do fine just reading the Juan Mascaró translation, I would say. And this Full Society edition really makes up for it with the fantastic illustrations and a very nice heavy rough paper. But if you have any questions about this edition or any other book in my collection, then please leave a comment and I will answer it as quickly as I can. And if you want to support this channel, you can do so in two ways. You can either go to my Patreon page, which you will find a link up here or in my description, or you can use my Taschen affiliate link, which you will find down below, if you want to get yourself some beautiful books from Taschen and still help me and this channel without you having to pay any extra. And you can also visit my blog if you want to, but that's all, and I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope I will see you next time. Goodbye.